Hi guys, Middlemaniac back again, and in this video I'm going to be listing off 5 albums everyone else loves, but I hate. So with that out of the way, let's begin. Oh, and also, these 5 albums aren't in any particular order. So, alright, so first off, I think I mentioned this probably in another video, but, Butchered at Birth by Cannibal Corpse. Now, yeah, there are other Cannibal Corpse albums I hate more, but the reason why this is here and not Gallery of Suicide is because, while Gallery of Suicide is a bad album, in my opinion, like really, really bad, the worst Cannibal Corpse album of all time, this one had potential. Like, really, really, really had potential. Like, it really, really did. Like, the thing, like, I loved everything about it, but there's one thing that just brings it down to be a really bad album, in my opinion. I know everyone else loves it, but the thing that brings it down for me is, again, Chris Barnes' vocals. Again, he did really, really well on Eaten Back to Life, but then just got worse and worse, and this is where it started, and his vocals are unbearable. For me, I can't stand listening to them. Like, everything else about the album is great. It's just Chris Barnes' vocals that really make me hate this album. Not as much, like, I don't think it's the worst album of Cannibal Corpse's discography, but it's the one I hate the most, if that makes any sense. But yeah. Alright, next up is, this is let's see, oh, my lamp went off again. Hold on. There we go. Anyway, the next one is, Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. Now, I don't entirely hate this album. There were like 3 songs that I love, one song I love and 2 songs that I think are okay. No, 2 songs I love and 1 I think is okay. Like, I love Welcome to the Jungle, and I love, where was it? Oh, yeah. And I love Paradise City. I think My Michelle is okay, is an okay track. But everything else about this album sucks. Like, everything else is just boring. All the other songs I just were like, oh, I hope there's something better. I hope there's another song like Welcome to the Jungle or Paradise City or something like that. But no. Like, I had high hopes for this album. Like, I just got this today from Barnes & Noble. And the reason why I bought this in the first place is one of my friends showed me the song Welcome to the Jungle, and I was very impressed. I was very impressed with that song, and, hold on, give me a second. So I was very impressed with the opening track, so I saw this at Barnes & Noble today, so I decided, hey, I'll give it a try. So I bought it, brought it home, listened to it, and yeah, for the most part, it's pretty bad. I mean, not that the production's bad or that the songwriting. Well, the songwriting's kind of janky and just weird, but it's just majority of the songs are boring, and it's just not overall. I hate this album. That doesn't mean I don't think they're like. I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, Welcome to the Jungle and Paradise City I really love, but everything else, like the other, like one song I think is okay, but everything else is just boring, and I cannot get through it. I got through it, but I never want to listen to this album again. Yeah. Alright, next up, I know a lot of people are going to be pissed off at me for this, but I hate Rain in Blood. Not to be confused with the song Raining Blood, because I actually really like Raining Blood. I love that track. That's the only track I love from the album. But here's the problem. Other than the song Raining Blood, every other track is boring, like, in so much so that they all kind of meld together. Like, I couldn't tell which one was which other than when I looked at the CD player to see what number of the songs were playing. But majority of them, except for, again, Raining Blood, just felt boring, and they just felt clustered together, and I couldn't tell which was which. And yeah, I mean, ugh. And the cover's pretty bad too. Like, I hate the artwork. It's just a cluster. It's a mess. It's just, and the logo. I mean, the logo's okay. Like, I do think the logo's okay, but the cover art and the albums in a general is not that good. But I love track number 10, Raining Blood. But yeah, everything else is pretty bad and boring. All right, next up, I felt like I had to put two together because they are just so similar. But these two Death albums, Human and Individual Thought Patterns, like they sound so similar in a way, like in a way that they sound so boring. They sound perfect for each other. Like, yeah, I mean, the only like I don't like anything off of this, but I do like the cover song "God of Thunder" on this album. But that's the only thing I like from this album. But I don't like anything from this album. Both these albums are just boring. At least this album had pretty good production, but this album just didn't have that good production. Chuck's vocals on these two albums just suck. Overall, they're just very boring and basic and just sounds dull and flat. But again, I do like the cover song on this album, but that's it. But yeah, I felt like these albums go together very well of how boring and dull they are. Alright. Lastly, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this too, but I hate Sad Wings of Destiny. I'm sorry, guys. Here's the thing. I do not like 70s music in general, whether it be other genres or even in metal too. I just don't like 70s music. It's just too dull. Like, I don't know. I can't get into music that's from, like, anything from 70s and before. It's just too, I don't know. I just can't get into any music from 70s and before. I just can't. I'm sorry. I know this is a legendary album, but I just do not like it. I mean, the song "The Ripper" is a classic, and I think that one's okay. But even though I think "The Ripper" on here is okay, I love the version on 98 Live Meltdown with Tim the Ripper Owens singing the song. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't just love it just because it's called The Ripper and his nickname is The Ripper, but his vocal, like, the way he sings it sounds a lot better than how Rob Halford sings it. But yeah, I do not like this album at all. I don't think it's the worst Judas Priest album, but it's the one I hate the most. But yeah. Me hating an album and thinking an album's the worst of a discography is completely different for you guys who are kind of confused. Anyway. Alright, so that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.